Hello, everyone. Wow. Oh, Kate. Kate's the first one to comment. Love your work, Kate. Good to see you again. Oh, Vicky's here. We are, well, just a little bit excited about seeing you all tonight. There's a lot of you. And, sitting down with a cup of Kelly. Love it. I want to welcome you all today on behalf of Amy and I, and we would really like to know, are you here because of me or because of Amy? Like, whose tribe do you belong to? Or probably both, because we share a lot of the same people. Or are you brand new? Is this your first webinar? We would love to know. We'll just give everyone a chance to join in. I'm still not on. Nadine, fingers crossed my kids stay in bed is all I'm saying right here, because it's 7:30 and that's not very late, so they're in there, hopefully quietly. But I should just check. I want to bring Amy in and get her to say a quick hello, and if you guys could just let us know that you can see her okay, that would be awesome. Hello, Amy.
Hello everybody. Here we go. This is so exciting. My children are quiet for now as well. My husband's been banished to the bedroom, so fingers crossed.
Bring it. I mean, I think everyone's got to forgive us, right? You guys are a lot of you are probably mums as well, dealing with the same stuff. I'm just looking at you guys' second webinar. There's people who are here from both, and that likes both of us. Glass of wine, so torn between the webinar and watching The Bachelorette. Tanya, this is your homework.
Good. How did we plan it at the same time as The Bachelorette? What were we thinking?
You know what? I haven't even gone there. I am just too scared to actually get addicted to something like that. It is addictive. I don't want to. Well, look, we have given everyone a chance to get here stunningly. So, well, thank you, because I just put something on my face. I didn't even do my hair. Maybe it's the soft lighting that's doing that, because I literally just put my kids to bed. Okay, so everyone can see Amy. That's brilliant. Fiona's here for her first ever webinar. Okay, let me tell you how this is going to work. So what we'll do first is I'll just give you a little rundown on why you're here and our philosophies and why we're pretty much a match made in heaven, aren't we, Amy?
We sure are.
Yeah, like we would get married if, but we won't.
Yeah.
And then Amy is going to take you through all her magical goodness, and I know what she's got coming, and I mean, I love pretty much everything that she says, because, you know, she pretty much reads my mind. Her Facebook posts seriously read my mind. So she's got so much to bring you, and then I'll do the last half, and I've got lots of good stuff. If you've been on one of my webinars before, you're going to have a few ideas. You're going to have the real food message drilled in a very down-to-earth and practical way. Really, really warmly welcome anyone who is a first-timer. Thrilled to have you here. So Amy and I decided to do this because she deals with the parenting, mindfulness side of things. I deal with the food side of things. And we see both of those areas can seem to be perfect, or to do well, or to nail, as I usually say, one of these areas in life. It's like you have to do it all. It's like you've got to be totally perfect. It's a huge mountain to climb to go from where you are to where you want to be, or where you see other people. And whether that's someone who's got time for an hour of yoga and meditation per day, and, you know, has a perfectly tidy house like 24/7, or whether it's someone who's eating a totally clean whole foods diet and just doesn't seem to veer off ever, it's too much. And we both have the same philosophy, and it's how we started to create changes in our own life. And that is by taking small steps, by taking it back to basics, not making things complicated, giving ourselves as mums, because let's face it, that we're just pulled in all directions all the time. So just tiny little manageable things to do. I've actually signed up for Amy's Reconnect course, and I'm sure that there's some of you here who've done that before, because I really want to know how to get that mindfulness, being present, feeling like, I don't know, like I'm kind of doing a better job than I am, even although what I'm doing right now is perfect. I just want a few tools and tricks. So I'm excited about starting that, and I wanted to talk to Amy to share, because she's so generous with her community that we just thought, hey, I'll bring the keeping it simple food stuff. You keep the keeping it you bring the keeping it simple parenting, mindfulness, mamahood stuff. That's got to be a webinar made in heaven. So here you are, and thank you for joining us. I am going to pass over to Amy. Amy, because some people in my audience might not know who you are, I'd love you to tell us just who you are and what you do, and then share with us your beautiful advice.
Sure. Oh, we are a match made in heaven, aren't we? I was listening to what you were saying, and it's exactly the same as in the areas that I talk about. We think that we have to have all of this perfect. We have to never yell at our kids. We have to be mindful all the time, doing the yoga, calm, perfect. As I say all the time, we need to be super mum, super lover, and super woman in all areas of our life, and it just doesn't work like that. And if we can start to demystify that and start to really bring some simple key points into our life about how to start feeling better, and also stop feeling bad that it has to be perfect. I think this is the thing. We so often feel like we're the only one who loses it and has a terrible day. That's why I loved your video last night that you posted on Facebook, and I'm sure everybody loved it. I loved that even the mascara was slightly smudged under the eyes. It was literally like you'd been rubbing your eyes like, I can't do it today.
Because you weren't meant to see that. Oh, dear.
It was the best because, as you said, we don't need, well, most of us feel like we don't really need the mothering tips. We don't really need to know that much more about how to handle the tantrums in terms of what's going on with our kids. But what we do need is how to handle it ourselves, because within ourselves, we're going crazy in our heads, or we end up losing it and not handling it the way we want to handle it. And it just feels like, yeah, you end up with mascara under your eyes and it all just feels like it's falling apart. So, and that's kind of what my journey's been. You know, I've got 3 kids like you, and my eldest is nearly 8, so it's been an 8-year journey of me trying to figure this out. And my first baby was a massive shock to my perfectly organised and planned life, and she was a terrible sleeper, a terrible eater. It was a really, really rough ride to start off with. And as a journalist and as someone who has always decided that there has to be an answer out there, I'm a researcher by, into my very core, that's what I do. I started looking for answers. I started going to everybody I could find, read every book, did everything I could to try and find a way to start feeling better. Because in my core, I wasn't loving it, and I knew I should be doing better. And I kept thinking the answers were the mothering skills, and I couldn't find the answers for myself. I couldn't find anything that was about how I could feel better about myself, how I could stop beating myself up, how I could stop waking up in the morning to the sound of my baby crying and thinking, I don't want to do this today. I don't want to do it, because that was my reality. So over the last 8 years and over 2 more babies, that's what I've been doing. I've been trying to figure out how we can all, as really busy, achieving, successful women who suddenly have the brakes put on everything when we become a mum and we're home with these little ones every day, how can we start being happier doing that? So that's kind of where it's all gone from me. That's my little life in a nutshell for anybody who doesn't know who I am.
Amy, I just can't imagine you being that mum who's like, I don't want to do this today, because who you are now and what you bring is just such, like everything that I read of yours is zen. Even if it's all chaos around you, you manage to find the moment, find peace, find grace. And I breathe out when I read your stuff.
I love that you said grace. Grace is one of the things I talk about in my program. All the mamas that are watching this, that have done my program, can you believe she just said grace? That's so cool. That's the one thing that everybody struggles with, is the idea of grace. Look, I am a completely different woman than I was 8 years ago. I will say that. I'm not saying that I don't have my days where I lose it, but I am a completely different person, because very much like you, beautiful, you started off with really small steps to change the way you eat, and and it's just been an accumulation. People sometimes feel like it's this big thing that they need to do tomorrow. It's not. You can't actually do it tomorrow. You actually have to start really, really small and realistically know that it's going to take you a few months to get to where you want to go. And that's kind of what it's been like for me. So look, yeah, most of the time I'm calm, but no one's perfect, as we all know. But when you look at what your video was yesterday with, I just want to know how not to lose my shit in this moment, which was perfectly said. I think the thing that I wanted to talk about the most tonight when it comes to that is that real how to keep your calm when everything else around you is going terribly wrong, how to not wake up and think, I don't want to do this today, how to cope when there's gastro and a deadline and school photos all rolled into one day. And I think the thing is that we have to start thinking about is that women cannot multitask like we think we can. And
oh, what?
I know, because we hold it up as this big badge that we can do all of these things, and it's actually what we think we need to do as mothers. To be successful mothers, we need to be juggling the school canteen roster, the childcare drop-offs, our own business, and create a beautiful meal for our husband tonight because it's Friday and we should probably have a date. We do all of that within an hour. And the thing that I have discovered over my time as a mum is the times that I completely lose it, the times that I am completely disconnected, I yell, I do everything that I wish I wouldn't do, is when I'm trying to do too much. And it might not necessarily be physically, but it's too much in my head. So what we do is when we start feeling really like things are so overwhelming, when you tune into what you're thinking about, I bet you're not thinking about what you're actually doing. I bet you're doing 7 different things in your head, and that is why when the little toddler comes up and taps you on the leg and says, "Mummy, mummy, 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 mummy," you turn around and go, "What?" Because in your head, you're writing that email, you're doing that budget, you're worrying about the fight you had with your girlfriend yesterday. Like, you're not actually there. So now when I feel that whole "what" feeling building up, I look at it as like it's a red flag. It's like a big stop sign to say, hang on, Amy, what are you actually thinking about and where are you? Where are you? You're not here. You're not focusing on what you're meant to be focusing, and everything else has to stop for a second. So, and really at its core, that's what mindfulness is. Mindfulness is focusing on one thing at a time. It's being in the moment. It is when you're chopping vegetables, you're chopping vegetables. Now, I know that sounds really simplistic, and we can't do it all the time. But when you start feeling that trigger of anger or overwhelm or chaos bubbling up, that's your flag to say, stop thinking about the email and stop thinking about the school run. Be here in the moment. And that's the first step to start connecting with that calmness no matter what you're doing. It's to realise that multitasking in your head doesn't work.
Amy, I feel a little bit teary, and it's weird because people are also saying, like, have you been spying on me? You're going to make me cry. I'm feeling emotional right now because you have just right then described my head and described mindfulness in a way that makes sense to me as a mother better than anyone that I've ever heard before. And I am so freaking happy I'm doing your course. And I just want to, people were asking about your course. You will be getting a link to that in just a tick, guys, so don't worry. But I can't believe what you just said. So, okay, so can you give us a tip or something on how to actually do that?
Absolutely, yeah. So the thing that I love is connecting with your energy. So what I want to say is a lot of things that I talk about sound a bit out there and a bit woo-woo and a bit spiritual and whatever, but they're actually not. They're really, you sort of have to ride with the terminology a bit. So when we talk about energy, it's just that feeling in your body, and obviously where your energy is moving is where you are. So, okay, so today I've been a little bit preoccupied with the webinar. I've been thinking a lot about this, and I found myself doing, as I'm planning what I'm going to explain to you, doing the exact opposite. So my kids were here and I was getting everything ready, and in my head I'm thinking, and I'm reaching over, I've got the piece of paper and I'm making notes and I'm doing all of this and I'm running around and everything, and then suddenly my girls had a little like sibling rivalry fight in the corner, and I turned around and I'm like, that's enough! And I thought, I can't believe I've just done that. I have just done that when I've been making notes about how not to do this. So the first thing, truth time. So the first thing you do is you need to check in with your thoughts and realise that you're thinking about too many things, you're not in the place that you need to be. And then we need to start getting the energy and the thoughts out of our head and down into our body, because the body is the present moment. The body is you being in the moment. So if you can start imagining or centering yourself back into your body a bit, then suddenly you can start being back in that moment and stop planning yesterday, worrying about tomorrow, all of those things. So I actually imagined today, and I do this a lot, the energy, like the feelings and buzziness, because you can see those thoughts. If you think about them, you can see them buzzing around. It's like this energy that sort of hovers around you. If you can grab that energy and just start slowly breathing it down to your feet. So stamp your feet if you need to. Feel your feet on the ground, stamp your feet, spread your toes, feel them on the ground and go, okay, just one thing at a time. This is all I have to be doing right now. I can worry about that later. All of that, and feel it actually moving down your body, down into your feet. And then either start thinking about your feet or your hands or some part of your body that gets you back in the moment. One of the gurus that I've loved over the last few years that's taught me a lot about all of this is Eckhart Tolle, and he talks about feeling your hands. So feel your hands, feel your hands, feel your hands. And when you start doing that, you can start feeling them buzz and there's energy there. And then by thinking about that, you're instantly back in the moment. So you're instantly back here without worrying about everything else. And suddenly you are just here and those thoughts slow down. Kids are great for this too. Like, they are the best examples of present moment you can ever have. So get on the ground with them. Stop what you're doing, put your phone down, stop worrying about all of that and just be with them for a second, and suddenly you are back in the moment. And that screaming, that overwhelm, that freak out, it stops. I promise you, it's just gone once you're back in the moment and stop worrying about everything. Yeah.
Amy. I almost feel like I'm going to sleep right now. But it's amazing the effect, like even just thinking of one thing, that like you feel clearer instantly.
Yeah, and I think that's what mindfulness and meditation and all of that stuff is really, they're buzzwords and they're really hard to understand. And also, let's be honest here, we see it on Instagram and there are all these 24-year-old fantastic girls that spend an hour meditating every day who do not have children. And we think that we need to do it that way, and we don't. It actually can be right in the moment. I mean, sure, meditation is amazing to help you train your brain to only focus on one thing at a time. That's why you do meditation. So when the kids are going nuts, you can just focus on your breath because you've been practicing it every day for the last week. So that's why we end up doing stuff like that. That in the very first place, it's just cutting out all the crap in your head and coming back into the moment.
And I would imagine that the more you start to practice that, the more you can move through your day with a bit more ease, because I find it's the clutter in my head that stops me in my tracks. And the clutter just gets louder and louder, and you can write a list and you can have it all there, but I'm still seeing it all. So I'm going to be doing a lot of stamping my feet, it seems. Stamping my feet. And I think I could maybe get the kids to do that too.
Oh, absolutely. These practices are so amazing to teach to our kids. They really are. You know, when you start doing stuff like that, not only do you stop screaming at the children and feeling like the slave to the family, but also there's a calmness that comes over the children because, of course, we know that their energy feeds off our energy.
Oh,
But then
100%.
exactly. And it also completely changes the way you deal with your husband and everything else, because the responsibility of looking after children is so huge that if we don't slow down and stop the busyness and stop our addiction to multitasking in our heads and thinking we need to have it all done right now, then we can start being in the moment and be so much calmer. And the other thing that I really think that we need to start bringing into our lives to help those freak out moments is, I often say, when you see that mum in the supermarket screaming at her kids, I bet you, in fact, I know she hasn't done anything for herself in over a week. She hasn't stopped, breathed, had a cup of tea, had a shower without some kid banging on the door. She hasn't probably even done a wee without someone watching her. And so when the kid accidentally drops the yogurt in the aisle and she screams at them, we all judge her. But truthfully, I completely understand and know that it's just because she hasn't looked after herself. So the other way to stop those moments bubbling up all the time is to start creating space in your life for yourself. And I know everybody feels like they don't have any space. We don't even have time to finish a cup of tea when it's hot, let alone, once again, as we said, have an hour yoga class and do a meditation. But what I find with the mums that I talk to and in my own life is that we're actually doing a lot more for ourselves than we realise. We're just not mindful of it. So what that means is we clean our teeth, we have a shower, we have a cup of tea, we put mascara on, we get dressed, we make our bed, we do all of this stuff, but we're not actually thinking about doing it while we're doing it. But when you can start doing things like when you're in the shower, feeling the hot water wash over your body and feel like it's washing away the anger or the tiredness or the exhaustion. When you put moisturiser on your legs when you get out of the shower, send your body that's absolutely exhausted some love. When you put mascara on, look at yourself in the mirror and say, shit, you're tired, but you're doing such a good job. I'm so proud of you. All of this stuff will feel weird at first, but me time, we think me time is going to the day spa and having a massage or literally checking out for a day. And that's not me time, is the reality when you've got little ones. We have to find ways during our day to create our own me time. So one of my favourite things to do, Lisa, is once the kids are all asleep is I come downstairs and I dim the lights and I either light a candle or burn some oils or do something. And it's like this little off switch of, I'm done with you today. You're fantastic, hopefully for a little while at least before one of them wakes up. And this is my time. And you know what? Even if I then have to go and do the washing up, it's just this change of energy. It's just this acknowledgement that this is my space. This is me. This is what I can do to help myself, even though there's nothing else I can do right now. So we also really need to change the way we think about me time. Me time is about what you're already doing, but as you're sipping that cup of tea, feel it go down your throat, into your body, take a big breath and go, oh, it's going to be okay. That's the things that we need to start bringing into our life.
Amy.
I love how you say it.
Amy, you're making me cry. And I know Heidi's just written, she rarely feels proud. She never feels like she's doing well enough. You know, you are. I mean, just by doing it, it's enough. And I feel the same. I mean, even hearing Amy, I'm like, oh, I've got to be better at this. But we've got to stop that talk and just feel what she's saying and take on board what we can, because each of us are actually doing really freaking well. To rock up here tonight, to invest in an hour away from the Bachelorette, to focus on you, the wellness of yourself and your family, that's doing a good job. Not everyone would sign up and turn up. Not everyone would sign up. So you are doing well. And Amy, you know what happens to me when the kids go down? I open my laptop and I start to work because that's my work time. And there's no space in between. And then I get worked till for so long that I'm so tired and I just go to bed and I crash. So to think that I could spend 5 minutes just setting the tone of this room or, talking to my husband or something before I move into that zone is such a genius idea.
You know, it's all about little rituals. I was thinking about it the other day. Do you remember when we were teenagers and makeup or a foot spa or any of those little things that we'd do for ourselves that were girly, that were so, nourishing and beautiful, and you loved it? We so need to bring that back into our life. Like, we need to paint our nails. We need to, whatever it is, wear a perfume. You know what? Wear a special bra underneath your daggy T-shirt at home. Who cares? It's about these little things that say, I see you. I know you're really struggling, but you're doing an amazing job and I acknowledge you. And it's about that, about rebuilding that relationship with ourselves, because we have so much time focused on everybody else. We do nothing to connect back with ourselves. And the very first thing, just to talk about that comment from one of the mamas there, the very first thing that I always say that we have to start with is kindness. It has to start with self-compassion and kindness. You have to start with saying, I'm doing a freaking amazing job. I'm doing the best I can. I'm the best mum for my children and I am doing the best I can, and every day I will keep doing the best I can. And that's all we need.
And that just gave me shivers. Thank you, Amy.
Good.
You're good at...
The last thing I wanted to say, which kind of ties in, I'm on a roll here, Lisa, so you make sure you tell me what I have to
go.
The last thing I also wanted to say, which is, my mamas will know this, is my big thing. It's not about how often we lose it or lose ourselves. It's about our return rate. So what I mean by that is, when I first started on this journey, I thought the ultimate goal was to be perfectly calm, happy, on top of it all the time. I thought the ultimate goal was to never get frustrated at my kids, never to think, oh my God, I don't want to do this today, never have those moments. I had the ultimate, Mother Teresa, Mother Earth, goddess rolled into one in my head. And so every time I fell down or every time I stumbled or yelled or lost it, I felt like I'd failed. And what has been probably the greatest realization for me is that that's actually not what it's about. What it's about is how quickly we come back from those moments. So like today, I picked up on the fact that I was yelling because I wasn't focused. And instead of beating myself up, saying, I'm such a bad mum, I don't even follow what I say, I'm such a fraud, all of that stuff, which would have been the old self-talk, I come back. It's about the return factor. It's about how quickly you can go, okay, I can see I'm losing it. What do I need to do? And having all of these things around you to make sure that it's easy to come back. So you know how when you talk about how we slowly start moving towards more whole foods, we need to get the crap out of the house and put the good stuff around us, so that's what we reach for. Well, it's exactly the same for self-care and mindfulness. Have stuff around you that reminds you how to quickly come back. So have whatever it is, the oils, the Post-it notes. I even brought this to, it's like the rose spray for the face. Like, I have this on my counter, so when I'm feeling overwhelmed, a spray, and it reminds you to go, okay, we're going to be okay. So have this stuff around you so your return rate's quicker. So when you do yell, you come back. When you do beat yourself up, you come back. It's not about how often you go there, it's how quickly you come back. And I think that's been such a revelation for me, because I stopped trying to be perfect and now it's just about how quickly I can come back to myself.
I love that. And I love it because it feels like if we've got like a little toolkit, We've got
Yeah.
like tools that we can kind of pull out for that, or, okay, this is happening. And you know what? It's probably also about recognizing it and recognizing, because what I'm hearing from you is that we're probably more in control of our reaction than we realize. And if we know a few little go-to things like the stamping your feet and, you know, all that kind of thing, then we have tools in our toolbox to reach for in those moments. And I think no one trains you as a mother. No one trains you that you are going to be pulled and stretched and pushed and bullied by toddlers and absolutely at your wit's end. No one teaches you what to do in those moments. You know, we're people who go through life, as you said, and we have our nice little controlled existences, and then it all just changes. And we're just trying to cope, and we don't have a village anymore. You know, it's not as though we can go out of our house and there's just other families sitting there waiting and, you know, shelling peas together and we can talk and get it out of our systems. It's just us in our houses with our children so often, don't you think? And then if we don't have anything to reach for, the spiral can just kind of get a bit out of control.
Oh, absolutely. You know, so many of the mamas that have done my program are so isolated, whether regionally because they live in the country, or they're away from the friends they grew up with, or their friends don't have babies at the same age. And it is so lonely. We're so attached and connected via our phones, but we're so doing this on our own. And we're not really sharing and talking about the hard times, or if we do, the solution is often, you know, wine, or, which I'm all for too, but there's no real discussion of what else we can be doing to try and, you know what, this is the greatest gift we will ever have, being a mum. It is the most beautiful time. And I know that every single mum that's here doesn't want to get 10, 20 years down the track and think, I missed it. I was too stressed. I wasn't present. I was too worried. I missed it. I wish I could go back and do it again. I know that that's what we don't want. So if we can just start now with small little ways of connecting with ourselves, and as you said, it's all about the tools. It's learning about mindfulness, meditation, connecting with your body, trusting yourself, valuing yourself. There's a big part of us that doesn't value our role as a mum. We think we need to do all of these other things to be valued. And it's about starting to value this time in our life differently. There's just all of these beautiful little things you can do that then accumulates over the years. Or not years, months, and then you're a completely calm mum.
It's so true what you said, because we all just say, oh, I'm just a mum or something. Yeah. It's horrible because it's not just a mum. You're a freaking mum. I've just popped up a link for people to your program because I know it closes this Sunday, I think. Because I'm in, so we're kicking off on Monday. But if people want to know a little bit more, can you just give them a spiel so they know what it's about?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a 40-day program. It's 40 days because a big part of what I've learned over the years has been through yoga, and Kundalini yoga in particular. And a lot of the Eastern traditions have 40-day practices because they often say it takes 21 days to change a habit, but 40 days to make it completely part of your life. So the idea is that over the 40 days, we grow, we get those tools and those things that we can use in our life. And it's also pretty transformational in the sense of it's the way that you start exploring who you are now. Because from the second they put that baby on our chest, that's it. We don't have a minute to catch our breath and think, who am I now that I'm a mum? What does this mean for me? And what type of mum do I want to be? What type of woman do I want to be? Do I even want to go back to work? I don't even know what I want to do anymore. None of that space is there. So over these 40 days, we learn meditation, we learn mindfulness, we learn how to trust ourselves, how to feel stronger in every moment, but also who you are and how to value yourself at this time. So it's a beautiful collection of videos and worksheets and a meditation and the most amazing Facebook group, as you know, with these groups that come from these programs. These women just become such amazing friends and support each other. It is that tribe that you were talking about, feeling like you've got that tribe of women going through it with you. Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely excited about it. And like even just hearing you talk, I could literally listen to you for hours because I think that, there's people who just kind of push through, and then there's the people who've done the work to make it easier. And you have tried to make your life, you've tried to bring ease and grace, and you've done the research, and you're going to bring the best bits. So I can just like cut right through, use all your research and experience, and take that for me.
Oh yeah, please do. What's mine is yours.
Yeah, good. Guys, we can pull that. Hopefully you've all got the link. I can pull it up again later. But I think that I can see that a lot of people, Vicky's saying there's a really supportive group and it's still going now. That's amazing. Highly recommend Reconnect program. That's Renee. Do yourself a favour. Yes, I am. Highly recommend Amy's Amazing Reconnect. Oh, there's so many of your reconnectors.
I know, they're the most beautiful tribe. I've been getting amazing messages from them all day saying, thinking of you, Amy, good luck. Because this is my first webinar, everyone. So they are a beautiful group of women. And that's what we need. We need to be able to support each other. We need to be able to say, I'm not coping today. I don't know what to do. And all of these women are on the same path at the same time, and it just makes me teary thinking about how amazing these women are to support each other that way they are.
And do you know what, Amy? I always tell people with food, like it's not always about the food. We can all know what we need to do to take care of ourselves, but we really have to go back to basics and our own self-care and prioritizing that before we can have major shifts, because, eat healthy food. Oh, all right. It just doesn't happen like that. So that's why, I don't know whether we should tell these people what we've got planned next year, but should we? Well, we could just say, well, we could ask, would you guys like, I'm sorry, Amy, I'm just totally going to ask. I don't have a filter, if you've probably guessed that if you're following me on Facebook. But we were thinking about doing some live events. And so, if you guys would be interested in that, I can't get enough of Amy. So you can, Alicia says, love your work too, Lisa. You're one very powerful duo. Bang. Yeah, we're doing the events. Amy, come on. We got to do it. Because I'd love to bring your message to, I just think the food and the mindfulness stuff, it just fits. It's got to go together. Can't have one without the other.
Oh, absolutely. And I often say you can drink all the green smoothies in the world, but if you're hating yourself while you're doing it, then it ain't going to have any effect. And it's vice versa. You can try and be mindful, and you can be trying getting off and eating. So you have to have them both together.
Yeah. Oh, looks like people might come to our events, Amy. Thanks,
guys.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So, okay, guys. Now, Amy can take a breath. Scull a glass of wine. She totally nailed that. This is her first webinar ever. And I'll bring up the link to the Reconnect program again at the end. And Amy's got an extraordinarily good bonus for you waiting at the end of this too. We'll give out our bonuses. But in the meantime, I'm going to be talking to you. I'm going to be using a few slides, because if you haven't been onto one of my webinars before, you might want to grab a pen and paper, because sometimes there's ideas that people like to jot down. Basically, if you know me, you know it's kind of not fussy around here. I like to, I haven't eaten perfectly my whole life. I grew up, I was born in 79. I had the normal lunchbox, normal whatever I thought it was, like a Vegemite sandwich and a little packet of chips and a little fun size something, an apple or a mandarin, and, just moved through life. Worked at Macca's, worked at Wendy's, and then, partied through my 20s. So there was a lot of kebabs and McChickens. And Maduri shakers, and what else was there? Was loads of crazy weirdness going on. And then I had my kid, And I thought, I don't know what's going on here. I would like to feed him healthy food, but I don't really know what healthy is. And it's some things that have started to feel wrong. And then I was choosing organic for him, but not for us. And I thought, I don't even know what this actually means. So I did a bit of study, and the study just got me very confused. And because it was a course all about different dietary theories. So it was like, you know, 1 week raw, 1 week South Beach, 1 week vegan, 1 week paleo, and everyone could prove with science that theirs was the right way to eat. And so I was doing my head in, and my husband's, and then I got pregnant again while I was studying all this and addicted to almond croissants, just thinking, oh gosh, I don't know what I'm doing here. I just need to go back to basics. I just need to start eating real food. So that became my journey and my challenge to myself. I just thought, I've got to start to get rid of the packets. That seems like the easiest place to start. And it's a journey that's been, I think I did that about 3 years ago, that course. And I've been sharing as I go. And I obviously created Small Steps to Whole Foods, which is an 8-week online program. But there's also something else I created, which was released today, that I can tell you about. But I'm now just sort of thinking, I just want to help people get started on their journey to eating more real foods. I'm not about perfection. I'm exactly like Amy, but there's things that you could do every day. So hello for the, hello, did you just say Maduri shakers? Jesus, that took me back 20 years. Yes, Renee, I did. I certainly did. Okay, so I'm going to bring up some slides. Sorry, it's probably a bit of an 80s thing to do as well. But okay, so let's keep it simple. I'm going to just tell you what whole foods are if you're not familiar. Sorry for the guys who've heard this before, but it's always good to be reinforced. Why I create a menu plan, which I think is really quite key. How to pimp your kids' snacks so they stop asking for food every 2 minutes. Fast and easy family dinners. How to have an energetic afternoon. See what? And there's also some awesome bonuses. Oh, an awesome bonus. I don't know what I'm saying. So Whole Foods, that's the beautiful Jude Leroux, who has written amazing Whole Foods books. And she just says, Whole Foods are foods as close as possible to its natural state, with as little that is edible removed and as little that is inedible, like additives and such things, added to it. Makes sense, right? So we're just going back to basics. But how do you recognize whole foods? Because it can get a little bit weird sometimes, because you see things and you're like, right, that coconut is a whole food, desiccated coconut. And then you look on the back and there's this cheeky number, 220, and you think, what's that doing there? Well, does that make it mean it's not whole? So you've got to ask yourself, is this real? Does my body recognize this as food? As in, if it's being made in a factory, probably not. Think about the process that that food has gone through to get to you. Has it been cooked how many times? So even just thinking about something as simple as pasta. So pasta has been cooked, it's been dried, and then we cook it again. So there's probably not much nutrition going on with the pasta. Now, that's not to say pasta doesn't play a part in my life. We just need to think about what is most nutritionally dense. Are preservatives and additives present? So that 220, for example, is quite nasty, and it's in a lot of things. Dried fruit, especially, so all your sultanas and your orange dried apricots should in fact be brown. Weird, but true. And preservatives and additives can be so sneaky. So that's why I got jack of trying to work out what was what looking on packets. So, and I just really started to not buy as many of them. Amanda just said avocado smash has changed her life. Oh yeah. Oh, the avocado smash. So what packaging is it in? That sometimes affects the food. How fresh is your food? Which also, I think, totally impacts on the flavor and also the amount of nutrition in there. So, you think about a packet of Twisties, there's not much real going on there, is there? The golden rule is that whole foods generally can't be found in the centre aisles of supermarkets. So we do whole foods because it's common sense. Because if you think about it, we're just animals needing real food to function normally. Incorporating non-food into our diets puts our system under so much pressure. I mean, it is crazy what we are asking ourselves and our kids to deal with. All this foreign chemical sort of stuff. It's really, really full on. We're really confused as to what is normal these days. And I use the example of a normal birthday party because, you know, how much of that food is normal. Now, don't be freaking out right now. Do not freak out. This is a moment where people are like, oh, shit. Uh-oh. But I don't want you to do that. I just want your awareness to be raised about when you look at food, just think about how real it is, how whole it is, how close to its natural state, because that's the stuff that's going to make you feel awesome. So this low fat, you know, removing the fat out of everything, highly processed junk food status quo is making us fat, sick and tired. It just is. All the research is showing it. So there are some really, really easy, simple things that we can do to change it. So the thing that I recommend to everyone is to plan for success. Just get organized, spend 5 minutes. And I know that this is hard on a lot of people. I hear time and time again that this is what people struggle with. And that's why I've created a little something, a little sort of mini program. But I'll tell you about that in a second. But I reckon that a menu plan saves my ass all the time. And you know what Amy was talking about before? It's about removing the clutter. I don't have to wake up every day and think what I'm going to eat. It's all already organized. So it's just one less thing I have to deal with. So you cut down on trips to the shops because, hello, when we go to Woolworths, we never actually walk out with what we went for. We lose that. There's nothing for dinner. Panic. We reduce the amount of takeaway. We reduce food waste, and we can prepare ahead, which makes us feel like freaking legends. Most importantly, if you've done a meal plan and if you've bought everything you need for the week, if healthy food is there, you will eat it. I actually promise. Who's just saying? Someone's saying, whose meal planning takes 5 minutes? Mine. Well, that's because I keep it simple. So, okay, let's talk about pimping kids' snacks because I think one of the things I get told all the time is that kids are hungry all the time. So here are just a few things that you could do, and on the next page I've got some ideas. So don't be afraid to add fat. Fat is so satiating. Obviously good quality fats. I'm not talking hot chips here. I'll give you some ideas on the other page. Provide nutrients so their body is satisfied. I kind of have this theory, totally not scientific, but that they're hungry all the time because they're not actually getting what they need. So they're getting all this rubbish a lot of the time, or this nutrient deficient food. So their body is always saying, no, I need something else. Like I need to be fed. I don't know if that resonates with you, but that's just something that I've been kind of thinking about, because don't you feel like even when you've got your period or something and your hormones are doing crazy things and you want different stuff, it's your body like needing a certain vitamin or mineral to help get it back to its lovely, you know, balance. So I think kids might be the same. Anyway, that's just totally my theory. Limit the amount of sugar. Obviously, give them what they like. Sausages and eggs are perfect snacks. If your kids really like eating corn on the cob, give them a corn on the cob. Have some of that stuff handy so you can pull it out. Boiled eggs save me all the time. So here's some ways to incorporate a little bit more of those ideas. So say a smoothie. You've got a banana, a handful of cashews, half an avocado, water, whiz it up. They are not going to notice the avocado, and it is going to keep them so full. Obviously, if you've got more kids, add more, do whatever you like. So yeah, that's something that I do all the time when I really want to shut them up. I mean, you know, I use that term lightly. I love my children. But I think I'll whiz up some of this, put avocado, banana, few nuts, water, or coconut water if you've got it. Fruit. My kids love if I make apple chips, which is thinly sliced apple, and then pop some peanut butter over the top. Oh, they're in heaven. They're absolutely in heaven. And it can be any type of butter, nut butter that you like. It can be tahini, whatever. Just think about all the time, like how can I pimp this up? How can I make them full from this? Popcorn. Now, popcorn, I had a friend actually over, and it was an impromptu after kindy visit today, and I cooked up some popcorn for the kids. I had some kernels. I made some butter pretty hot in a pan, added the corn. It popped. I put a bit more butter on it, a bit of salt, and a bit of dulse flakes. Dulse flakes, write that down and get some from your health food shop, are the best. Anyone who hangs around with me for long enough knows that I love dulse, and I sprinkle them in anything. They're just a little seaweed flake, and they are very, very awesome. Cook, but like she was like, oh, that's how you make popcorn. Yes. We've forgotten all these things. And then there's frozen peas and corn. Just because, why not? Just because sometimes they want something cold. Make your own icy poles. Just use cream or coconut cream and blend some fruit like mangoes coming into season up here in Queensland. Just blend that, pop it in some ice cube trays and give it to them. The fat from the cream or the coconut cream is going to keep them full. Way more full than just a water, sugary, icy pole, juby thing. Okay. Family dinners, how are you all going? You're sticking with me? You're talking recipe books. I love it. I love nuts. So do my kids. They can't take them to school. Yes, that's a problem. I know, I'm going to be dealing with that next year. Okay, I'm just going to keep going through because we're getting to the hour mark, and I'm going to committed to finishing on time. Family dinners, right. So these are 3 things that I would do, just my go-tos. So drumsticks and veggies. Chicken drumsticks, some things you can't unlearn. And what I've learned about chicken, I can't unlearn. So I like to buy organic chooks. And chicken drumsticks are like the cheapest organic chicken you can find. So we have them a lot. And my kids, it's a bit of a novelty, so they eat them. Coat them in a tablespoon of tamari, which is like soy sauce, but a better version. And they sell that at the supermarket. 2 tablespoons of honey, a tablespoon of olive oil. Just give it a coat. Marinate it if you want. If you've got time, I very, very rarely do. Pop that in the oven for about 20 or 25 minutes until cooked through. Bang, done. And then do a raw veggie platter. So I don't know if your kids like raw veggies, but mine like certain ones. Sometimes, I don't know. Okay, I must be doing a good job because sometimes they like wrapping their veggies in spinach. And I'm like, Lisa, you're the best mom in the world. Amanda said dulse flakes. I hope that Lorraine's answered that. A seaweed flake. Yeah, super high in nutrients. That's it. Health food shop. Sorry, I'm probably going too fast. Sorry, guys. So great veggies. If they like grated veggies, steam them if needed. And you know what my go-to with veggies is? Just cook them in a bit of butter in a pan and sprinkle it with Parmesan and a little bit of salt. So easy. I know people have a hard time with veggies with their kids, but that would be a really good idea. Now, also, save yourself time. The next day, cook a few drumsticks ahead, so the next day you can have it for lunch. Oh, that was easy. Lunch on the go. Now, my broccoli fritters have, I think, almost become the most popular recipe on my blog, because all these mums are getting their kids to eat broccoli now. So what I do with that are broccoli fritters and veggie chips. If I want that up quickly, often the night before, because I've planned, maybe, I've steamed the broccoli, so it's just sitting there in the fridge, and all I have to do is mix all the ingredients for the broccoli fritters, cook them on a pan. But in the meantime, I will have just sliced some sweet potato, beetroot, zucchini, anything you want, thinly, so they don't take too long to cook, and pop them on a baking tray with a little bit of olive oil, or if you're into it, ghee or tallow or one of those lovely fats, and that takes half an hour. Done, dinner on the table. Lorraine's saying, eat my broccoli fritters. Yes. Who's talking about orgasmic chicken? Wow. It's getting pretty fiery in that chat box over there. And my last one, which you'll be receiving this in my special little, in my little bonus tonight. The sausage and veggie bake is just ridiculously easy. And you are getting that in the bonus. I'm going to be giving you 5 of my favorite family dinners that everyone eats. But I did just want to make a note that good quality sausages do matter. So what's in your sausage matters. If there is a whole load of numbers and crazy things, probably not a great quality whole food. If you can find a good butcher that has literally sort of meat, a few herbs, a bit of salt, maybe a filler. My butcher has organic rice meal in their sausages, but you can get paleo sausages that are grain-free. I think people are starting to cop on to wanting access to really good sausages, because I don't know about you, but my kids eat them every time. Alicia's saying she has an incredibly fussy 3-year-old and he loves my broccoli fritters. Well, my job here is done. Awesome. So I hope that just gives you a few ideas there. I just wanted to finish the info with how to pump up your afternoon, because I know that so many people suffer from the slump. And I know the kids are getting tired, I'm getting ratty, like I'm coming to the end of my tether. Although that won't be happening anymore, thanks to Amy. So what I want to say is that, you know, I might just even come back to me now. Hold on, I'll take off the thingy and we can talk this out, because I think this is really important. So I think what we as humans have lost the capacity to listen to our own bodies, to actually check in and find out what's working for us and what's not. Because the truth is that the slump is a result of what we've done all day. And I know sometimes it's just because we're tired, and I totally hear you. But if you are, you know, I challenge you to do this. When I started to stop having bread at lunchtime and I just changed it for something non-bread, glutinous related, whoa, did I notice a difference? Massively. And then when I stopped having dairy at lunchtime, difference again. Could not believe it. Whether I'd had a coffee or whether I'd had, you know, whatever, it didn't matter. It was what I was eating at lunch that was setting me up for a really big fall in the afternoon. And so lunch becomes a priority. Lunch is what we all have so much trouble with, isn't it, mummies? Because we're doing everyone else. We might be getting kids into bed, we might be at work, we didn't pack anything. And lunch is the meal that falls off the bandwagon. So check in with your lunch. See how it actually makes you feel an hour later. And then start to experiment is my advice. Experiment and try different things and see how it makes you feel. The chocolate and chips are a result of something else. And a lot of it is habit forming, and a lot of it is, you know, I'm sure that there's loads of people here who, you know, on the quitting sugar thing, and, you know, the physical reaction that we have to some of these cravings is totally real, but often there's something else going on too. What do you really need at that time of the afternoon? Is it actually to pop your feet up for 10 minutes? Is it to phone a friend? How else could you fill your cup aside from reaching for the chocolate and chips? Just a thought. These are only ideas. Think about the foods that make you feel great and eat them. Living foods, which are, you know, anything that's grown, I find raw living foods can make me feel great. If I'm having, you know, especially if I'm at home and have the ability to make something, I might just whiz up a smoothie for myself, or juice a few carrots and celery and cucumber or something if I can be effed cleaning the juicer. Because I know that gives me an instant hit. Even if I just grab like a cucumber or something and eat that, dip it in some pesto, that's going to make me feel so different than reaching for the chocolate, which happens more than I'd like, because then it's just like I'm out of control. I've lost the control. So they're just things that I want you to think about when you're, I can just hear people saying lunch. Yes, 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 lunch. In small steps, yeah, we give a lot of ideas about lunch. I think it's a priority because especially, yeah, and someone's just mentioned sitting down, because we don't actually sit down and eat our lunch so rarely. So I'll just finish this off. I've just wanted to tell you that, in fact, it's kicking off tomorrow. I've just done this new, I'm really anti-menu plans because I don't know what you like to eat, but I have listened and a lot of people want a menu plan. So what I've basically done is put together, well, it's actually a 9-day program that sets you up for 7 days of whole foods eating. So you get 40 recipes, 10 breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, a done for you menu plan, or you can create your own and you get a beautiful menu planner to do that in. You get a preparation guide. So the first day we decide what we're going to eat and you go through the recipes. The next day we shop and then we work out what we're cooking on the Sunday to make the week a breeze. I'm in your inbox with a short little three-minute video every day, and I talk about lots of different topics. And then you've got, literally step-by-step support and instructions. I have made this for people who don't really have time to think about food, who just want to start experimenting with putting more real food on the table, and who don't want really fancy pants recipes. So yeah, it's starting tomorrow and it's $27. And, oh, okay, that's my webinar bonus. Oh, you'll get that later. Let me just see this. So I'll pop a link up in case anyone wants to do it. We are kicking off tomorrow, obviously. So it's going to be super fun. I'm really excited to see how people go with it because I just, Amy and I, we're both on the same page in that, like, we're just trying to simplify and make getting to where you want to be easier. And that's what I did Keep It Simple for. Obviously, for anyone who doesn't know me, I've got an 8-week program that really delves in deep. It really takes you deep. Yeah, you get a lot more information, loads of recipes, like a truckload of recipes. But this one is just like action oriented. Let's just do this. Let's do a week. It's kicking off tomorrow and I'd be more than happy to see any of you there, especially the newbies, because, it's so fun to meet new people and you meet us. And yeah, we'd like to help you. So that is Keep It Simple. I hope you've got a few good ideas for family meals. I wish I was as zen as Amy, who talked so eloquently and beautifully. I just kind of go, but we've got an hour.
Remember, we have to start with kindness towards ourselves.
Yeah. Sorry. I just rocked that. So yeah, it's so funny because it's crazy, isn't it? And I would say the same thing to you when we get off. It's so easy to give other people compliments or tell them they're doing a great job. It's so hard to do it for ourselves. Oh my God, I just caught myself right there. So how ridiculous. Do you think we should tell them about the bonuses, Amy?
Yes, let's do it. But I do want to say, I can't wait to do your Keep It Simple. I have tried menu plans so many times and they never work because I think for me, I do the plan and it starts the next morning. And it's the thing that I'm so excited about is the 3-day preparation. That so speaks to me. I am such the prep girl, and if it's not prepared, it's not going to do it. Like, I don't think I've ever got past day 3 of a menu plan because it's like, oh, whatever, it doesn't work. And so I love the prep because that's the shopping list, the cooking day, all of that. I'm so looking forward to that. And the snacks. Snacks are such a big deal in my house. We cannot get snacks right. So I'm really looking forward.
On a webinar I did recently, I got everyone to do a little poll about, which meal they have the most processed food. And first was about 70% of people said they have too many processed snacks. Next was breakfast at about 39%. A lot of people, not happy with the breakfast they were choosing, but snacks, because, hello, I mean, I'll often still buy like a packet of crackers or something just because I need something if there's going to be a long trip in the car. And I know it's not perfect, but I haven't made my own and whatever. It's like, I am not about perfection. What Keep It Simple is to just basically say, like, this is how I do it. So it's literally the foods that I would eat that week, what I would prepare on a Sunday to try to make things as easy for myself as possible, because I don't have time to get fussy. I don't have time to go through, I've got so many recipe books, but I don't have time to really go through them. So I just fall back on my same old favorites, and I thought other people might want to see what that is. So we'll
Yes,
see.
please. Yes, please. And also, I think kids need exciting snacks. You know, I can say to my kids, well, there's a fruit bowl right there, and they don't want to do that. And so I'm really excited about actually learning what can look like, you know, those processed snacks that they would really love to have and everybody else at school has, but we can have the healthy version. That's what I really need. Is like, I feel sorry for my kids that the option is a green apple or a red apple. Like, I want them to be a bit more excited about that, but I don't know how else to offer it to them. So that's what I'm really excited about.
Yeah, it's just going to give you some very basic ideas. But obviously I couldn't cover everything. Like, it's 1 week. It's 1 week. And I had to pull myself back from stuff. And some people have asked about small steps, and there's obviously some small steppers here. Small steps is basically 8 weeks. We spend 2 weeks on a particular meal. So we'll spend 2 weeks on breakfast. So you get, for 1 week, there's information that comes at you every day with a simple idea, but then we also go deeper with some amazing guest interviews. And it really gives you the why behind it. Because I think for me, that was when things really started to change, when I actually understood why. And it's funny, that was what I meant when you were saying that stuff before about mindfulness, Amy, is because it's never been contextualized for me. So when you did that, I was like, well, now I get it. Now I get why. That means I'll be much more inclined to do it. So the next round of small steps is happening probably, I think it's late Jan, probably start of Feb, when school goes back. And so that's why. So right now, jump into Keep It Simple if you want a little taste test, and then small steps will start again next year. We're just finishing off the last round, and if you are a small stepper, oh yay! I'm glad that you love it. This runs beautifully with small steps, but it will be run again, so you don't have to. If you're doing small steps right now, don't stress. Maybe finish off Snacks Week next week, and then jump into Keep It Simple. So, okay, hang on. Let me just pull this up. You guys are probably like, "What the frig is the?" Hang on. Oops. Here. Give us the free stuff. Give us the free stuff, guys. Amy's giving us her. Is this 19? Is this like $20, Amy?
Yeah. Yes.
Guys, download this baby right now. Quick, do it. This is your reward for rocking up. So she is offering you her beautiful Happy Mama ebook. Do you want to tell people what's in it, just so they know?
It's pretty much the first step for most people when they come to my site. It's kind of my overview. It's a little bit of my story, and it goes through different areas of your life and how to start connecting with yourself. The subtitle, I think that it's, they call it in the industry, is a spiritual survival guide for the early years of motherhood. And that was really because all the other books were talking about how to raise your baby or how to breastfeed or to do anything else. I wanted a spiritual survival guide. I wanted to look at how I could save myself through this journey. And that was really the start of it all. So yes, please, everybody, grab a copy, read it. And yeah, I hope it starts to really inspire you, as you said, Lisa, to start thinking about these things a little bit more and start being kinder to yourself and thinking about ways that you can start feeling better and connecting with yourself again.
I love it. I love it. But the thing is, like, sometimes I need to be a part of something a bit bigger, and I think that's why Reconnect is going to be good, because sometimes you just need to be told, or you need to be a part of something. And I think that that's the same thing as small steps, or the same thing as Keep It Simple. Keep it simple. I am literally talking to you every single day in your inbox. Mm-hmm. And I think that we sometimes need that in order to take the action, because it's so easy to just sit where we are, I think.
Absolutely. And reading a book is not the same as doing it. We can read it, but we need more. So yeah, the reality is that we're so busy if we don't have someone checking in with us, someone else saying, did you do this exercise? Did you try this? Then we can just read it and go, gee, that's a great idea, whatever. So the idea is to, you know, that motivation of popping into your inbox every day or seeing all the other mamas in the group doing it, it just totally builds that momentum. It's an energy force. It just goes. It moves you.
Yes, it does, Amy. I love you. Okay, so hopefully everyone's downloaded that now, because then I'll put up my cheeky little ebook, which is something I've put together for you, which is Family Dinners ebook. So you could take this and have 5 family dinners. Oh, she's quite pretty there. Dinners ebook, lovely. So I hope that you guys, yes, it is super generous of Amy, and you go back to it. Vicky goes back to it and gets something new each time. They are the best. Oh, they're the best.
Oh, is that what one of the mamas has said?
Yes.
Oh, I love you.
Ali says, Vicky, now I'm crying. I'm so excited to read it. Oh, you have just made a lot of people's days, Amy. I have absolutely love. Amy has a beautiful way with words that feels like a warm hug. I totally agree. Guys, I hope that you have enjoyed tonight. Amy, it's been fun, hasn't it? Are you a webinar addict now like me?
I am. It's been really lovely, but I have to say, and everyone will agree, I'm in the safest hands. I could never have done this on my own, first of all. So thank you, beautiful, for guiding me and holding my hand. Thank you. So you've made it.
I was just stoked that you said yes and we could do this, and I look forward to more things that we can do together. I think we've got totally the same philosophy, and you know, because I just felt like I was just so sick of, you know, putting myself against people who were doing a really perfect job. Amy and I are here to tell you that whatever you're doing is totally perfect. And if there are things that we've learned on our journeys that have taken a long time, a lot of experimentation that we can share with you, then why the hell not is the answer to that question. So we hope that you've enjoyed this. Can we have the link to Amy's course again? Yeah. On my mobile, I can't see the downloads. I don't know how that works, Rebecca. Oh dear. Maybe email me. Hang on, I'll pop my email address in here and you can email me, and I'll pop the reconnect. Oh, guys, you are actually being sent small steps to wholefoods.com. Hopefully that's right. You are being sent a replay and all the links to the course, well, the course to the reconnect and keep it simple will be in there. Amy, did you have something?
Yes.
You wanted to tell people while I pop your link back up?
Yes. So because the course is about to start, it's only got a few more days before we kick off on Monday. If you sign up in the next 24 hours, you'll also get a bonus of the Mindful Mama Meditation Pack, which is 4 meditations that I wrote and recorded. They're only 10 minutes, so you can so fit them into your life. None of this 1-hour meditation. It's also about being a mum. So often we listen to meditations and they aren't really connected to our life. So these 4 meditations are the different areas of your life as a mum that you want to be able to connect with. So you can, if you sign up for the Reconnect program, the next 24 hours, so what we'll say, 8:30 Sydney time tomorrow, then you'll also get the 4 extra meditations.
So generous. We love you. It's super, super generous. And I think also if anyone had already signed up for Reconnect this round and is watching, you'll make sure that they can get it too.
Absolutely. I'll contact everybody, but also send me an email because everyone can get it. It's so important. It's a bit like having a recipe collection. Having a meditation collection is a big thing to help you make it more a part of your life. If you just listen to the same thing all the time or you're fussing around and you don't know what to listen to, having a library of them makes a big difference.
When do you listen to them?
Early in the morning. I'm a 5:30 a.m. alarm girl. I love it. That is my half hour every day. Sometimes I get 45 minutes before the baby wakes, where I literally come downstairs, put my headphones in, do my yoga, do my thing. My husband, if he comes down that stairs before 6:15, he's in so much trouble. It's like, this is my space, go away. So I do that. But also there's meditations you can listen to at night. Do it when your baby's sleeping, do it when you're breastfeeding, doing it. It's all of those. We find ways.
We do find ways, and it is about priorities, isn't it?
And once you start, you don't want to stop. Once you start, it's like you with the bread cutting out. See, another similarity between us. Once you start realising that the bread at lunchtime makes you feel like crap in the afternoon, you want to cut it out. Once you start seeing how 10 minutes of meditation in the morning makes you so much calmer, happier, connected throughout the day, that alarm will go off and you'll bound out of your bed, I promise.
Yeah, wow. Let's hope. Someone was just saying they didn't get your ebook, so I've just popped that back up there. Guys, everyone's saying thank you, Amy, because you loving kindness meditation is my go-to, and the reconnect one, big aha moments with that. Oh man, this is going to be awesome. Okay, so I've popped up. Hopefully you guys can see the link to her thing. You've signed up. Can you get the offer? Yes, Fiona. She will absolutely make sure. Send. What's your email address, Amy?
Oh, it's a long one. I'll put it in the replay.
Yeah, or just if you will have, if you've signed up for a course, you'll have her email address. So just write back to it. Yeah. Well, I'm assuming, Amy. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. Is there a link to my? Okay, I'll just pop up this. We've got too many things that we're doing. Yes, there is a link to the Keep It Simple course. I'll pop that up. But you will be getting these. You will be getting links to the courses. Just wanted to make sure everyone got the ebooks. We are so grateful to you for turning up. Wow, because this feeds us too. It really, truly does. I'll be buzzing for a few days from this. So thank you so much for turning up. I hope that you have got something tangible and real and something to go and try or do differently, not change everything overnight, and 100% value yourself and the job you're doing in this world already. But we hope we've helped. Right, Amy?
Absolutely. Thank you for turning up. Taking an hour out of your night is a big deal. I know some people are in the middle of dinner routines and in Perth, and yeah, so thank you for making time and doing this for yourself, because this is all about you.
We love you. Okay, everyone's missing out on stuff, and it's someone saying they don't have my ebook, so I'm just going to do that last one. So that was Keep It Simple. Hope you've got that, but you will be getting that. So I'll just pop the ebook up and we'll let that sit there for 1 minute. And there we go. All right, hang on. It should be there now. Yep, there it is. And, you know, we will hopefully be hosting these things, you know, in real life maybe. If we can get it into gear. Let's not overcommit ourselves, Amy. Let's stay present. And you've got a very big project in the works too that's going to be so exciting for everyone. But 2016, we're looking forward to bringing you more.
Absolutely. We'll hit the road, the tour.
Let's go. Let's go around Australia. Can we leave?
Road trip.
Can we just like ditch the kids, or do we have to bring them too?
Oh no, we're not doing it with the kids. And can you imagine our road trip snacks?
Yeah. I'll sort that. I will sort that. You bring the meditation and I'll bring the snacks. Done.
All right.
Okay, everyone. Thank you so much once again, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Thank you.